take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're flying.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 235 of Take Flight Podcast. Back again this week with a bite-sized takeaway episode, and it's my turn, Shuwel, hosting for you today. Now, for those of you that are new, these Take Flight takeaway episodes are short, bite-sized episodes of around 10 minutes, where each of us take turns to share some lessons that we think would be of value to others. In case you haven't checked out any of these takeaway episodes before, I highly recommend you check them all out. Now, this week, I wanted to talk about a recent milestone that Ahmed Capital Group achieved, which is my real estate investment company, and the three ways in which we were able to provide opportunities to our stakeholders and clients. And this allowed us to provide a larger offering where everyone can win and participate in the upside. Now, with this milestone, there are a few lessons that I've reflected upon, which I believe can be of value to you in your pursuit and what you're looking to do. Now, I won't be going through Ahmed Capital Group's origin story in this episode, as I spoke about this way back in episode 129. So if you are curious about that, then feel free to check out that episode after this episode is finished. And just to repeat, that's episode 129. Now, what was the actual milestone? So recently, we completed on our second transaction of 2024. And with this transaction, we continue to support the healthcare ecosystem in the south of England. And we, Ahmed Capital Group, which I also call ACG, reached a milestone. Now, this particular transaction, because it is a great example of how we work and what we do and who we work with, this is why I wanted to share more detail in this week's episode. Now, the three areas that helped us achieve this milestone and the lessons from it. So, number one, now with this transaction, we're continuing to support healthcare. We were able to acquire 3 sites with 13 units with a combined value of £2 million. And this is in the southeast of England, which is our focus investment area. Now, these sites will be redeveloped into high quality accommodation for healthcare workers, a group vital to the UK economy. Now, from the real estate investments that we already have, we know that the demand is very high. For every unit we bring to market, we see more than 10 inquiries. So this is a fantastic opportunity supporting an in-demand group of the UK economy. Now, the lesson in this area that I wanted to share is the power of observing the needs around you and asking what can you do to provide a solution for that need. Now, in my case, I've worked internationally in a large healthcare company across the globe for just over a decade. During that time, I had the opportunity to work in Japan, in Sweden, in Denmark, and also Switzerland, as well as travel around the world as well. In all those countries that I spent time in, I saw the importance of healthcare workers and the solution and support that they were providing to the local economy. So this is a community that is very important to the countries, and they also have needs in terms of looking for high quality accommodation and being provided with a good offering while they are being committed to their roles. And that's doctors, that's nurses, that's other people within the healthcare field. So after observing this need, coming back to the UK, I've also seen that over the years, it's important that the NHS is well staffed and there is a demand there for people to come into certain areas, support the local hospital, and with that, naturally, they will be looking for high quality housing options. So this is a need that I observed all around the world. It's a need that I observed in the south of England, which is our investment area. And this is why we pivoted our real estate business over the recent years to focus on that demographic in our market. Now, the other area that I wanted to talk about within this milestone is how we've been able to provide a win-win solution. So the sellers who were retiring directors achieved a smooth exit, which they were looking for. And through building rapport with them, we were also able to receive seller financing as well. So this is a relationship that I've been building over a few years. This is where I've got to know the directors of the company that were looking to sell their assets. I got to know them over time, got to know their personal stories, their family stories, how their career has been in terms of real estate investments, and also what they're looking to do now as they reach the end of their career. With all of that information, I was able to provide them a smooth exit for these assets that they were looking to offload. And together with the development partners that I've been able to build a relationship with, again, also over a multiple year period, with the partnership that I have now with our development partners, we see a great potential to expand these sites from 13 units to 20 units, which will triple our equity within a year. Ahmed Capital Group, ACG, retains the assets for the long term, and then also we can provide a return for our investors in the near term. And these are investors, again, that I'm super proud to say that we've been working with over a long period of time, and we've been able to build strong relationships. They get a great return in the near term. We as ACG retain an asset for the long term, and then the seller of the assets also gets a smooth exit from their end. So it's really a win-win-win scenario. So the lesson in that segment is have a look around and what are the problems that the people around you are facing and how can you solve this? And rather than thinking that you need to have the solution, start to think about, okay, who can help me provide a solution? And once you've got that, you realize that actually I don't need to have all the answers for everything. All I need to do, or all my company needs to do, is identify who is the person that can get the how. And then as long as you can put it all together, then of course there's a value in that proposition as well. So that's really the lesson. Look at the problems that people around you are facing. How can you solve this and who can help? Then the final area of this milestone that I wanted to talk about in a bit more detail is the idea of continued growth. Now, this acquisition brings us over the £5 million mark in terms of assets that we own and we are managing. And this is another step to our long-term target. And this would not be possible without our amazing team that we've been able to build over the last few years, and also long-term investors ranging from the US to Australia that have been with us, some from the beginning of the journey, others that have joined later on. But these are all people that we've been able to build long-term relationships with. And this has enabled us to grow over the midterm, and especially even more during the last five years. So I think the lesson in that is that all the best gains in life, they come in the long term, whether it's relationships, investments, career, and partnering with investors. All the best benefits have come in the long run, and there's still so much more room to grow. So anything that you're looking to commit to, if you make the time horizon long enough, then there is no reason why the returns can't be exponential. I made my first real estate investment almost 10 years ago now in 2014, but it's only in the last 3 to 4 years that we've been able to scale almost 10x. And that's really because of taking a more long-term perspective with it, creating a vision and bringing people along with us on that journey. So all the gains come in the long term. Now, to close out, looking ahead, this is our 5th transaction of the last 24 months with plenty more projects to come. If you'd like to partner with us or join our investor waitlist or find out more information, then please feel free to reach out. My email address is shuwel@ahmedcapitalgroup.com, and you can find us on LinkedIn, and also our website is www.ahmedcapitalgroup.com. All of this would not be possible with a lot of people behind us. This is another milestone on our journey. We've still got so much more to go. Now, beyond this milestone that I'm sharing today, there are a lot of things that have also gone wrong. We've had people owe us tens of thousands of pounds. We've had to go to court to reclaim some of those funds. We've had trades that have said one thing and have completely disappeared. We've had people say things to us and then completely do the opposite. Prior to signing a deal a few years ago, we had an investor that had committed to invest in, but then a few weeks before completion decided that they wanted to opt out for personal reasons. So there's all these other variables that we are managing all the time, right? And we're having to go through it. And that's the part that you don't see. So that's why a milestone like this makes it even more sweeter. Despite those challenges that I've mentioned that we faced in recent years, we've been able to overcome them and then reach a milestone like today. And it's not all blue skies and things are always going smooth. I think in this entrepreneurial journey, in business, even in your career, if you're working in a company, whatever you're trying to do, if you're in a pursuit for long term, there will always be ups and downs, but there is a cost attached to that. And as long as the benefit long term is worth it, then that cost you're happy to overcome in the short to medium term. So that's the end to this week's takeaway episode. In case you have any questions, and of course, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can find us on social platforms at Take Flight Podcast. In case you have any specific questions for me, please feel free to find me on LinkedIn under my name Shuwel, or Instagram at Shuwel1. And as already mentioned, make sure to check out our previous takeaway episodes too from the whole team. And please do subscribe to us on whichever platform you listen to us on. If you like this episode, then feel free to check out episode 129, where I speak more about ACG's origin story and how we were able to evolve from 0 to 3 million at that point. We'll be back next week with a new episode for you, the flyers. Keep on taking flight and flying high.
Take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're